Hi, my name is Sandy, and I would like to welcome you to Living the RV Dream. I'm very happy that you're here. I hope that if you enjoy this video or get something out of it, that you will take the time to subscribe to my channel. I'm just getting started here on YouTube, and I'm after those subscriptions, of course. In this episode, I would like to talk about RV awnings. When I first started RVing, I had no concept at all of all the things that awnings do to make RVing more comfortable for the people who use them, and nor did I know how to use them. And I think that's true of a lot of people. I think most people don't even give awnings a second thought, but they're pretty important when you think about it. Everybody who owns an RV should take time to learn how to raise, lower, and secure their awnings. And make sure all windows have awnings because they protect against heat, rain, and flooding. They keep water out of the RV, and they help to create internal privacy. I used to think all RVs came with awnings, but they do not. If they don't, number one, that could be a point of financial negotiation when you're buying one. But you need to get some. If they don't have them, you need to get them. And they're not cheap. That big awning that runs along the side of the RV where you enter, they're pretty expensive, but they're worth every penny, let me tell you. Here are some tips to help you do a better job of dealing with your RV and to tell you some stories about what happens when you don't. You should never leave your awnings open if you plan to leave your RV unattended, even for a short period of time, even just to run to the store or to go over to visit a neighbor, to walk the dog or whatever. Because weather, especially in some areas of the country, is difficult to gauge, and if you gauge wrong, you could have a problem. Also, if heavy rain is forecast or high winds or tornadoes, you need to close those awnings, especially the big one. I can tell you that several years ago when my husband and I were work camping, actually we were volunteering at a national park in South Dakota, we had to go to the store for a few minutes, and we left the awning down on our fifth wheel. While we were gone, a huge wind stirred up. It grabbed that awning from underneath and flipped it right over the top of our RV. It damaged, we got hit by lightning, it damaged some of our internal appliances, and we were shocked because there was no hint that anything was in the air. That's exactly why, even though it's a pain, you shut that awning down when you leave. If you're not going to be there, you really need to do that, even if the day seems perfect, which in that case it did. The other thing that you need to think about is securing the awning. The one you do that with is the big one that I was talking about earlier. The best way to do that is to get some tie-down straps that are made for that purpose, and you connect them to an RV awning anchor. These anchors, they used to be used just for if you had dogs, you'd screw them into the ground and you put the leash on it and it kept the dog in place. Well, now they're making them to secure your RV awnings, and they do a pretty good job, and you should use them. There are maybe some other ways you can secure your awnings, but those are the best because they're really into the ground. So if a wind comes up, you're pretty secure with that kind of protection. When you're traveling, that's another thing. This happens to a lot of people. They get in a hurry or they forget to give that extra turn or secure exactly the way it needs to be, and they get on the road and that awning comes loose. And I've had that happen too. I've been doing this a long time, so a lot of things happen. we went down the road and people were honking their horns, and we didn't know what they were honking about until we looked out the window. On the one side, the awning was hanging down all the way to the lower end of the back of our RV. We just didn't secure it properly. It's just that simple. That was the last time that happened too. These types of things happen all the time. Another thing that you need to make sure to do is when you are parked for any length of time and you want to have your awning open, you need to tilt it. And the reason you need to tilt it is that if a heavy rain comes up, if your awning is tilted, the rain will generally slide off of it and it won't hurt anything. If it's not tilted, that rainwater will gather on the fabric of the awning and it will build up, and unless you find a way to get it off of there in a hurry, it'll tear your awning. It'll ruin your awning. Now, we haven't had that happen because we carry a broom with us. You can stand under that awning with your broom if it is building up too much, even if it's tilted, and you can just kind of gently push up and it'll force some of that water weight off of the awning. That's an old RVer trick. So if you're a newbie, keep that one in mind because that'll be very helpful. One more thing I want to tell you about awnings is that they are a great protection against hot weather. You know, when you're traveling out west in the summer, it can get very hot. And when you pull in to have lunch or you pull in to park for the night, it's going to be hot in your RV. The very first thing you need to do is go into your RV, make sure that you plug your electric in and get the air conditioning going. The second thing you need to do is put those awnings down as low as you can to keep the heat of the sun out of your coach. You're probably thinking, well, what do you do about the windshield? They don't make windshield awnings, but you can buy windshield covers of one sort or another that you should also put on as soon as you go in because the windshield is the biggest glass in your RV and a lot of heat comes through that. So you want to protect yourself that way too. So even though this is about awnings, this kind of helps the awnings to do a better job. I hope that you got something out of this. I think it will be very helpful to you to follow these guidelines. We've learned the hard way what you got to do and what you shouldn't do. And I hope you will come back and see me again. And I hope that you'll keep living the RV dream. And I hope that you will remember to subscribe because I'd like to see you again. Take care and keep on dreaming.